situation, I would not be good, because I would blown through the lifetime cap, and we would be back in the same boat.
It comes down to risk, okay, and it's why the single payer system is the best option, really, because we all have healthcare needs. We will all have healthcare needs at one point, from the day we're born to the day that we pass away. There are healthcare needs. So the idea with a single payer option is that, and a public option, is that we're all paying into the system, and we all get health care regardless of whether we can afford it. We spread it out. Right now, we spend $2.2 trillion a year in health care, and about 50% of that is unnecessary.
So when you're out in the stump, and people ask you, do you support, whatever you want to call it, universal, single payer, whatever word you want to stick in there, you will support that?
I'll support anything that provides us health care. And you bring up a good point. Obama's said the Senate bill doesn't do what it needs to. I like the House bill. The House bill is great. It's got that good public option in there that's going to drive down the cost, right? And so that we can afford it, we can spread the cost out to people. But really, ultimately, again, this goes back to my idea of effective government. We can't have this. We can't just have this discussion now and then say, oh, okay, we're done, and then come back 20 years. We have to keep having the discussion year after year after year after year, and none of this stalling. None of this. Well, we're not going to vote for this plan because it's not what we want. That's what the problem with healthcare is that we're not continually talking about it. I agree with you.
This will come back.
No.
Republicans hope healthcare goes away. It won't. And it doesn't matter if they regain the Congress or not. It will continue to be an issue because of the conversation we're having right here. These issues don't go away just because one party's in charge or the other one is.
Everybody remember 15 years ago, the healthcare debate. We thought healthcare was going to be passed then, didn't we?
No.
Well, I mean, we looked at it and we saw. I mean,
Yeah.
we were like,
Hope and think are two different things.
we were like, yes, we were going to get this, yes, and then it was like, what happened? Well, the same thing is going to happen this year if we don't keep talking about it year after year after year. So the short answer to the question is that we don't have all the answers, but we still need to keep talking about it year after year.
But talking about it doesn't do anything until we start talking about the right things. We as a country should not be becoming millionaires because somebody gets cancer. We should not be able to have insurance companies that are benefiting.
There's on my website, which by the way is stout2010.com. We've got some flyers that we'll be passing out to you. But I've written a good blog on that and how it's it's reprehensible to allow people to keep making money on other people being sick or other people not being able to get well. So, but again, my fear is that we have to get something passed. The Senate bill has to be passed. Reconciliation has to happen, because if it doesn't, then Democrats are going to have a harder time in November of getting elected. We'll have a hard time.
But should we pass something that we know is not going to work just because we want the Democrats to gain office? I say no.
But that's the problem. It will work. It's going to cover people. It's going to cover everybody. It's going to make it so that insurance companies can't drop you when you get sick.
But it doesn't mean that they have to make it affordable for you.
Excuse me, but once we get it passed, we can tweak it later. But if we don't pass it now, we're screwed. It'll never get.
See, and that's my argument is that once it is passed, then we make those adjustments. And that's what I truly believe the effective government. That's how we have effective government. Because we could have passed what we have now 6 months ago, but because we were still arguing about all of these issues, we have a weaker bill today than what we could have had 6 months ago. So I disagree with the fact that the bill is not the best bill, but it does give us that universal coverage, and it does put our foot in the door. For me, as a senator, if the bill passes, I know that there's so many easy tweaks to the bill that we could get a lot of senators on board for. I know that. And public option would be one of them. So, well, I've taken up a lot of time. If you have any other questions, we're going to pass out our flyers. I'll be here afterwards, so any other questions? And I appreciate the debate, and I appreciate you staying and listening.
Thanks for coming.